Hello and welcome back to our Wudang Academy channel. So today we go through the Drunken style basic movements. First, I want to say that the Drunken style is not really a traditional form, but more than a collection of several signature movements of our Sanfeng Pai lineage. The thing is that the Drunken style form is mostly for younger people, or if you have already experience in all these falling movements. Your body must be strong enough to maintain the amount of pressure, and you kind of should have basic knowledge in Kung Fu to even attempt this type of movements. Normally I like to educate in stuff that I'm really truly 100% behind it, and the Drunken style form is something I learned before, but I haven't really practiced because it's really hard to practice this form in a town. You know, I can't go outside all the time, and indoors the form is not really for practicing indoors. So, and for my self-cultivation I also see not much point then I already train in the traditional forms. So please notice that the Drunken form is not something I practice every day, and maybe you can see that, and my form is surely not perfect, but I will show you the basics that are needed to even understand these movements and how to go there, what you actually need. I practice all this stuff in martial arts school when I was around 16-year-old, and I've been practicing a lot of falling in South Korea, so I inherit some kind of previous knowledge that makes it very easy for me to practice all these movements and maintain this type of endurance and strength that you need for even execute this type of movements. But the Drunken style form is not something I would recommend for people that are around 30 years or older. If you never really attempted this type of stuff, please try it with great caution. I don't really recommend it. In China, the Drunken style form usually is a form that is played by young students who have finished the basic education, and they play around with our signature movements, so it will help them to understand more about the movements and more about themselves. But I haven't really seen older Wudang masters who practice the Drunken form. Yes. So please keep this in mind. It's more than a plaything. It's not really a traditional form, but it is inherited from our lineage. So I will go through the things step by step, what you really need before you learn this type of form. So first, the most important part is our basic exercise that we practice in every class before. It is the bridge exercise. So you should really learn the bridge before you attempt anything else, okay? So you need to do the bridge without going on the ground and then do the bridge. You need it from standing up. So from standing up, you basically try to go as low as possible, all right? You go with the knees forward. It is very important that your ankles are very flexible. If your ankles can't go forward, then you can't go lower. So try to stretch your ankles before you attempt it. Go forward with the knees, and now try the body to go backward, see? Okay? And now to do the bridge like that, you try one arm and touch the ground, like this. You see? And now you can go with two. And same by going up. Understand? So let's try this one more time, okay? Go low, 1, 2. All right? This is something you should exercise often. If you can't do it, it's really hard to go further in this form. So the next thing is, you have probably already seen, is the falling from the side. When you fall down, you basically want to make it as efficient as possible to make it painless. So it means you want the surface area that makes contact with the ground as much as possible, so the impact will spread through your body. Yes? So you want to be very careful that you protect your weak parts. And your weak parts are basically the ribs, so you don't really want to touch with your ribs first. So be careful. And of course the back of the head, you don't want to touch with the back of the head. rule number one is that you keep your chin close to the chest, and at the same time you try to touch with the shoulder first. Always here. Yeah? You touch here with your shoulder, and at the same time you try to stretch the arm as wide as possible. Otherwise the impact will go on your shoulder, inside your shoulder, and will hurt yourself. So don't try to fall like so. Yes? Then your shoulder is kind of open and you will only hurt yourself. This is no good for your shoulder. So try to stretch it and then even out the impact on the full surface of your shoulder and then fall down. Yeah? The basic movement is like this. You stand straight and you go with one leg over cross and you try to lean the body in a horizontal line. When you are in the ground position, make sure that your left leg that is behind the straight one still touches the ground, and the hand here protecting your ribs, and the shoulder is stretched and lies flat. This way you have the greatest surface, yes, and you won't hurt yourself. You need to get used to it. The problem is often psychological because you fear the falling. This is something you need to overcome by practicing more often. Okay, now the next movement that is actually very important is the flip up, yes, because when you lie on the ground and you try to jump up, you've seen this in a lot of Kung Fu movies. This is a basic routine in Kung Fu schools. And the most important part about the flip up is actually not going up, but falling down from the position, because this will input in you the most fear, because you're falling backward and you don't see a thing. So when you're falling backward, you tuck your chin again close to the chest and you try to raise your hip, get your hip out of the way so you don't touch the ground with your hip first. Be careful, you will only hurt yourself. You should actually touch the ground with your shoulder first. Yes? So by touching your shoulder first, then afterwards the hand will touch the ground. This way you even out the impact between your shoulders and your hands first. This will make it able for you to land on your shoulders, and then you're actually ready to flip up. Okay? So don't make the mistake that you practice only one way. You should practice the other way too. You should go up and down evenly. One more thing is, when you can do the flip up, you are actually often using your hands because you push up. This way you can actually jump from your shoulders. So if you want to jump from your shoulders, you need to push your hands backward, and this way you jump up. Yes, like so. But you can also jump up with your neck. And this is a more advanced routine that I will show you in the clip coming now. And as you can see here, I have a sword in my hand and I basically jump up only with the strength of my neck. And the neck is like this wavy movement that make you bounce upward and stand on your legs again. This is very important. It's actually easier the lighter you are. I am 2 meters and 92 kilos heavy. So the more heavier, of course, the more strength you need. So it kind of takes into account the individual. It is easier or harder for you, you know. So, but the important stuff is now, when your neck is jumping up, you need to train your neck. Yes? So this is where these two seats come into play. If you want to train your neck, that you should actually do before you attempt this movement, then you should learn the Immortal Sleeping. Yes? When you go to the Immortal Sleeping, first you try it like this. You place your feet here and you should place your head comfortably on the other seat. I just have to make sure that it's the right length for me, and then you breathe and then you go up. So I hope my little tutorial helped you to further understand some of the movements When you watch the Drunken style form on YouTube, I'm sure there are some videos, you will see that the movements are practically bunched up from our other forms, other school. You can practice in our online class the traditional forms to get more feeling for these movements that will actually help you to improve the Drunken style form in the end. And the basic movements I've shown here are important, and you see the falling of these movements basically relates to these basic exercises so you won't hurt yourself. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Leave me feedback in the comment section below, and see you soon for more of these videos. Thank you and goodbye.